Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. In this video we are going to be talking about what happens when there is a center bloom on a polycarpic succulent. As you can see, this is a center bloom on my sedum golden glow, which is very unusual. I have never seen blooms on my sedum, so this is the first time I am noticing it. And initially I was a little scared because ideally whenever you tend to see a bloom right on the center, it's supposed to be a terminal bloom, or usually as we have the monocarpic and the polycarpic. Monocarpic succulents are like your sempervivums, your ioniums, agave. There's another variety, I'll put up the name on the screen. So these varieties are monocarpic succulents, which means that they just bloom once in their lifetime. After they are done with the bloom, they tend to die. So these blooms, the terminal blooms, are supposed to come out from the center where the crown area is present. Whereas the polycarpic succulents like our echeverias and our other varieties of succulents, they will always put out the bloom from the side. As you can see on the screen, this echeveria has a bloom, and it usually starts either on the first set of leaves or on the second set of leaves, usually on the sides. That is where the blooms start to appear. But over here in my sedum, the case is completely different. Now I'm 100% sure that sedums are not monocarpic succulents. They bloom a couple of times in their lifespan, so they do not usually tend to die. So here I have another example. Now this is my Crassula falcata, or also called as the propeller plant. You might have seen the pictures of the bloom that I had put it up, beautiful blooms, and this bloom also had started right from the center. Now this is the first time when I had seen it, and I was quite worried what's going to happen after the flowers are spent. Will the plant die? Ideally it should not die, because Crassulas are polycarpic succulents. They do not die with the terminal flower. They continue to grow and bloom multiple times in their lifetime. Now this is where the bloom started, right at the center, and when I noticed today, you can see there are two new pups that are showing up on the sides of the bloom. So basically the plant is not going to die, though the bloom was from the center. It has two pups on either side, and this is how the plant is going to continue to grow. The only drawback is that it won't have the continuous growth what it had earlier. It is going to have pups at these sides. So I believe the same thing is going to happen with my sedum golden glow as well. You can see they have the center bloom. So what I feel is that there is going to be growth on the sides of the plant and not on the continuous growth. So unfortunately, I will have to live with a succulent like that, because it is going to put out pups. Probably I'll cut the pups when they reach a decent size. So you can see this is how it's growing from the center. So probably this is where it will start putting out new pups, as in when it starts to grow. But this is how I love my succulents, when they have a very compact and continuous growth. But this is going to get disrupted with the bloom stalk. Now I know you might have a question, how about if I cut off the bloom stalk? Well, then it's going to be the same thing. We will not have the continuous growth even if I cut, or if I'm going to leave it as it is. The plant itself, the mother plant, will not have a continuous growth. There are going to be pups around the cut area. That is in case if I happen to cut. So there is no way out. Whether I cut or whether I leave the blooms as it is, the growth is not going to be continuous. The new growth is going to start from in between of the leaves. And not like how our echeverias, because our echeverias, as you can see, they have put the blooms from the side. The crown area is open and fresh, so whenever there is a new growth, the crown area will have a continuous growth. It will keep growing and opening, but it's not going to be the same case with the succulent having a center growth or a center bloom. But again, we can't do much about it. That's how nature has its way. Probably it had some other plans, so we have to just go according to that. I'm not cutting off the blooms right now of the sedum golden glow, because as I said, this is the first time I am noticing the blooms on my sedum. So I will wait for them to open up, and whenever that happens, I will definitely make another video on how the blooms tend to look like. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.